The second one happened when I was 14 years old. No, I know. It's a gay experience. It is. That's and maybe you're right. I don't know. But I'm going to tell the story. I was 14 years old, and interestingly enough, John is involved in this one too. We were still friends at this time, although he wasn't directly involved this time. It just happened at his house at a get-together with a bunch of guys. So John and I were hanging out. His parents had gone out of town for whatever reason, and we decided that we were all going to hang out over at John's house and sleep over, play video games, and drink. Now, I've stated before that I grew up in an alcoholic household. So at 14, I'd already been drunk several times, multiple times. This was no new ground to me. And I had drunk before with John and Jason and Matt, who were the other guys that were there. We had all been drunk together before, and it was perfectly fine. We sat around, had a few beers, had some shots or whatever, played some video games, passed out, everything was fine. The wild card in this situation was my friend Waylon, who I believe I've mentioned in previous videos. Waylon and I have known each other since we were 6 or 7 years old, and he's my longest-lived friend. I've known him longer than I've known any of my other friends. We're still friends to this day. We still kick it. Waylon was raised in a much more sheltered environment than any of the rest of us. Waylon had never touched a drop of alcohol before. And I guess if I was a little bit older and a little more mature, I would have been more trepidatious about the situation, because let me just digress for a second. Growing up in an alcoholic household, I've come to really respect people that can handle their drink, because it's a skill. Handling your liquor and or any other substance that you choose to take is a skill. And it speaks a lot to me about a person when they can come to a social gathering, get drunk or stoned or shroom or whatever, and not be a burden on everybody else at the party. It's a skill, and it's something that gives people instant respect points in my mind. If you can drink and remain mellow and not be a burden and not require constant babysitting, then you're already pretty cool in my book. But then there are other people, and you know who you are. I'm sure there are some of you out there. People that when they drink, they have major inhibition problems and require constant babysitting. So now the party, for most of the people at the party, is no longer about socializing, having fun, joking around, getting a little buzzed, drinking, having a good time. Now it's about, holy shit, what's this guy going to do? Is he going to get in a fight? Is he going to pull a knife on somebody? Is he going to punch somebody in the face? Is he going to trip and bust his head open? Is he going to puke all over the couch? You know what I mean? This person is now the focal point of the party, and not in a positive fucking way, right? You're having to babysit this asshole. I fucking hate that. Because I don't think there's an excuse for it. Maybe there was an excuse in this instance in Waylon's case, because he'd never been drunk before. But Waylon continues to be, and he's mellowed in his older years, but he continues to be a guy that when he reaches a certain level of drunkenness, everything at the party becomes about him, because he's yelling and screaming and tripping on things and grabbing sprinklers out of the ground and throwing them, and I dropped your phone down the toilet, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? He's that guy. And if you've had that type of experience drinking before and you continue to do it, go fuck yourself, please. Go fuck yourself, please. Let the rest of us adults have a good fucking time and drink alone. Drink alone so you can, hey, stumble around your fucking room by yourself, and make yourself miserable, and let the rest of us handle the social drinking. Learn your fucking limits. If you're the type of person that reaches a certain level and become blackout drunk, don't drink to that level. Have a few beers, get a nice buzz, and have a good time like a fucking gentleman. Or a lady. Such as the case may be, because women don't get a pass on this. There's some fucking dumbass, drunk-ass women, too. Anyway, Waylon's first time drinking in this story. So we had no way of knowing that Waylon was going to be like this. He was a crazy kid, but we were all weird, crazy, nerdy, dorky kids, so that wasn't, to me, any indication that he was going to be a retard when he was drunk. But it turns out that he was. It started off okay, but once Waylon reached a certain level, he started getting louder, started to get obnoxious. At one point, he picked a fight with this other guy that was there, Jason, who is this really soft-spoken, unassuming guy that would never fight anybody, and he, shoved this guy. I had to go break that up. So now, and it's early, too. This isn't like way late in the night where this type of shit is like, okay, the party's winding down and somebody got a little too drunk. It's like 7:30, right, in the summer. The fucking sun is still out at this point, right? I mean, we haven't even started. We've had like 3 or 4 beers and a shot max, you know what I mean? And Waylon is already, hey, I'm gonna fucking, you know, I had to break up a fight. He's stumbling around. He's breaking things, you know what I mean? And so we all decided as a group, the rest of us fucking people that could handle our shit, decided Waylon's cut off. Like, he can't drink anymore. Because if this gets any worse, the cops are going to get called. And at this point, when you're a teenager, drinking is a bigger responsibility than you think when you're a teenager. Because you could really get your parents in trouble. You know, let alone yourself, you know. If the cops get called and the cops bust in on a party with a bunch of 14-year-olds and the parent, I mean, your parents are going to reap the fucking benefits or non-benefits of that. Your parents are going to end up getting fucked. You know what I mean? So you have to keep things cool. And Waylon is not being cool. So we decide to cut him off. But he keeps sneaking away. He goes, oh, I got to go take a piss. And he'll disappear to pee, and then we'll all notice, oh, fuck, where's Waylon at? And we'll look, and he's in the kitchen slamming a beer or drinking right out of the little fifth of Jack Daniels that we had or something. And so he just gets to the point where he's so fucking obnoxious that we can't stand it. And so we decide that we're going to go sit outside because we don't want him to break something. And John had a big backyard, you know, just really big, and it was out in the country, like I said. So there, you know, he could yell a little bit outside, and people aren't going to fucking freak out, and he couldn't break anything. Eventually, Waylon reached that point of drunkenness that we're all familiar with, I think, where you've drank too much, and now you're no longer feeling good and drunk. Now you're feeling sick. Now you're like, oh, shit. And Waylon finally reached that point. And to be honest with you, the rest of us were fucking completely relieved. We were happy that he was feeling like shit. Because now we could all sit out in the backyard. If he puked, the worst thing that happened is we'd have to hose the fucking concrete off. You know, ideally, he'd go puke on the grass or vomit in a bush and then pass out on the carpet or something. And we could all continue to have a good time at the party. So we're sitting out on the back porch, smoking cigarettes and having a couple beers, and we're starting to have a good time at the party again. The party is coming back to a good place. Waylon's sitting there in his chair with his head down like, oh, God. Guys, I don't feel good. And we're like, good, good. I'm glad you don't feel good. You know, oh, God. I drank too much of whiskey. And I don't feel, and so that's all we're having to put up with. So we're having a good time finally. And then it happened. All of a sudden, Waylon goes from like, oh, God. And he looks at me. He raises his head up and it's like, shh. And he's looking right at me. Mean mugging me. You know what I mean? Like give me the shit eye. Like, and I was trying to ignore it. I was over here talking to my friends, but you know, you can tell when there are eyes on you. You get that feeling, that skin crawly type of feeling. Somebody's looking. And I ignored it for as long as I could, and finally I had to just acknowledge, like, Waylon is fucking staring me down. What the fuck is the problem? So he wasn't making a noise. He was just... And so I finally look over at him, and I'm like, dude, is there like, what's going on? What's the problem? Why are you staring at me? And he goes, you think I'm fucking deaf, don't you? I was like, I think you're fucking deaf. No, I think you're okay. I think you're going to be fine. Just go, you know, you're fine. Why are you, what's the deal? Like, no. You think I can't hear you? Over there, talking fucking shit about me? Talking fucking shit about me when I'm sitting fucking right here? Like, you're gonna fucking talk shit? You're gonna run your fucking mouth? Now, it's at this point that I had a choice. And I probably made the wrong choice. Having dealt with drunk people in the past, I probably should have just gone, dude, I'm sorry. Whatever I said, I apologize. I didn't mean it. Just chill out. And I might have been able to diffuse the situation. But up until this point, I'd been dealing with Waylon's bullshit for so fucking long that I wasn't going to pretend I wasn't talking shit or even pretend I was sad about it. I was going to tell him the truth. And so I said, yeah, dude, I'm talking shit. Everybody at this table is talking shit because for the last hour and a half, you've been acting like a dick. I was like, everybody else here is fine. We've all been drinking too. Notice none of us are flailing around, screaming, picking fights. I mean, you've been acting like an asshole. And when you act like an asshole, people tend to talk shit. So stop acting like an asshole. And everybody kind of chuckled at that, and I thought, yeah, maybe that'll put him in his place. And he goes, I'm going to kick your fucking ass. How's that? How you like that? How's that? How's that for being, the belligerent fucking, your typical belligerent fucking macho drunk, right? How about that? How about I fucking beat your fucking ass, and then we'll see who's talking shit, bro. How about that happens? I'm like, dude, seriously, calm the fuck down. Honestly, you're not going to beat anybody's ass. Don't fucking be stupid. There are like 4 of us and 1 of you. Nobody here is going to allow you to beat anybody's fucking ass. Just please calm down. Why don't you go lay down? Why don't you go lay down on the couch, or we'll make you a little bed out here or whatever. You'll feel better. And he's like, no. I changed my mind, bro. I changed my mind. I'm not gonna beat your ass. I was like, good. I'm glad to hear that, Waylon. Thank you, bro. He goes, no, I'm not gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna fuck you up the ass.